Why is it still 144p? Okay, good. So I'm gonna pause when unit skills get released.
My name's Myrrh. I sensed something ominous, so I left home to pursue it.
She's a green dragon, means that she's the second green dragon in the world. She's a flyer as well. So she's a mix of flying dragon. It means she's gonna benefit from all the hone flyers, gold flyers, fortify flyers, etc, buffs. Something to keep in mind, you can put her on a flyer team or you can put her on a dragon team. What's really cool about this though is this is like the first melee mage flyer, which is kind of unique. So even if she sucks, she still has this like a super cool niche where she's the only like magical damage flying unit, but it could still target defense anyway. It's a really unique character for a flying unit, I'd say. Forget the fact that she's a dragon. Alright, let's talk about this. So, yeah, Hone Dragons, everyone's kind of expecting this. It's going to be good for a dragon team. Kind of really good, though, that you can just inherit it off to a dragon that you care about, like a chicken or a Noe. What's interesting, though, is if she actually gets demoted to 4-star, then she could potentially be the second unit ever to have Fury at 4-star. That would be a dream come true, but you never know. Maybe she'll have Hone Dragons at 5-star and Fury at 4-star, and then that'll make it really good for free-to-play players or people with not a lot of orbs to get it. So that would be a dream. I hope that's gonna happen. The other two skills make total sense. Although this Great Flame, I don't think you should replace it like ever unless you can't find a Hector. I think this is such a super strong legendary weapon that you'd be a fool to be changing it to Lightning Breath. She can't run Steady Breath. She's a flying unit, don't forget. This is why you should run Distant Counter on the A slot with Great Flame, because Great Flame has literally like 19 attack, whereas Lightning Breath has 12 refined. It's like a 7 attack difference, guys. It's huge. Unit's defense is 5 over the enemy. I mean, that's not as big of a difference as you think it is. Like, it sounds like, oh no, I can't deny follow-ups from so many units, but trust me, okay, we already know just by looking at this video that she has more than 19 or something. Let's look at 38 damage, bonfire,
for all humanity,
and 57. See, we just saw 57, so that means that she just got 19 damage off of bonfire, which means in this clip she has 38 attack. She at least has 38 defense with Fury. Just based off that. We don't even know if she's level 40. We don't even know, you know, maybe she's getting Fortified Dragons buff. I don't know. Honestly, she could be buffed. You don't really know anything about it with this. Either way, if she's running with 38 defense, or even if she's running like 35 defense, a neutral Ira has 31. If you're running Fortified Dragons on the team, guys, she's always going to activate Great Flames effect. It's literally always going to happen. So that weapon is sick. So that's what I think of Myrrh. Pretty cool.
I am La Rochelle, the beautiful princess of peerless beauty.
We have another Blue Tome Cavalry. So this is shared with Reinhardt, Ursula, and Olin. This is literally going to be a super skip, in my opinion, because I don't see how she's going to surpass the Reinhardt. I just don't see that happening. Either way, let's talk about the skills, and maybe we can find some sort of potential out of her.
Princess of peerless beauty.
Okay, so renewal, whatever. You can get that at the chicken, growing light, whatever. I mean, you can just get Hawkeye for this. Evaldi, it's an interesting tome. Gives defense. This literally could just be like Fortress. Is this gonna be the new Fortress Defense? Blue Cavalry now? Is this May? Is that what I'm gonna do with this character? I'm just gonna give her Fortress Defense in the A slot, Res Tactic, and someone else gonna have like Defense Tactic or something, and we're just gonna create the ultimate wall called La Rochelle. Did she even have good defense in her game? She definitely didn't, right? So I don't even understand what's going on here. So rest in peace, Lloyd, for literally getting power creeped on your weapon's effect without even getting a benefit of extra stats. Feels bad, man. Res Tactic, it's cool. I mean, it's better than Fortify Res, right? If you create a mixed team comp and you want to give, you know, like a Blade Mage, infantry Blade Mages are super benefiting from this skill now. You know, if you're running Attack Tactic, Defense Tactic, and now Res Tactic on a bunch of other units, and you're running a Blade Mage, that is huge, like super huge, because that unit can now officially compete with like horses and flying units. In terms of the amount of potential. Like, every time I see a tactics skill, I'm like, oh, okay, Nino just got buffed. Oh, my Merrick is just a beast now. It's just not highly available. Once it becomes available, you could definitely start seeing these tactics skills all over the place. And the only way that La Rochelle is going to have a niche is if she becomes some sort of tanky blue cavalry. There is no way with offensive stat spread that anyone's going to want to use this character. I'm serious. For a meta reason, you should not use her if you have the Reinhardt. Even Ursula is going to be better and more available than La Rochelle. So unless she's some super tanky blue cavalry mage, even if she is, like, I don't know. For me, it's a complete skip. Like, I have no interest in this character at all. I played Sacred Stones, kind of remember her. She's not my waifu though, so for me, it's skip. I don't know, it's not that interesting. Did we need this? Do we need this? I don't know if we needed this. It's like Intelligent Systems wanted a brave version of Erica, and she didn't win the top 4. Or maybe they realized that already on the second vote that there's no chance that Erica is going to end up winning. So like, you know what? Screw you guys. We're going to make our own alternate version of Erica, and I don't care what you guys think. That's what I see here. I think another character totally deserved this spot, not Erica. That's my own feelings for it. I kind of know why they're doing this though. They're running out of like popular units to make, so they're kind of, I guess they're gonna start rehashing and remaking characters into alternate versions and forms and stuff. So this precedent, I don't really agree with it, because we're gonna end up like, I feel like in a year we're gonna end up with like 10 alternate versions of Camila, Tharja, Erica, Ephraim, Chrom, Ike. Where are they gonna stop? They're just gonna make like 10 different versions. We're gonna have Ike wielding magic. We're gonna have Ephraim wielding magic soon. We're gonna have like Tharja on a horse with a sword or something, which isn't impossible. If you actually played Awakening, you'd know that you could reclass them into these things. But it's kind of dull when you have the same voice actor and the same character. We're just gonna literally have four of the same character on a team soon. So I don't know. I'd like some actual differences in my character variety, even though I like Erica. This is why they're doing this in the first place, to try to like capitalize on waifu material for people that really like Erica, rather than giving this slot to like someone else who deserved it. Where's Molder the Boulder, man? Come on, who wouldn't want Molder the Boulder over this Erica? Merrick with his sword. What about the female players? I mean, yeah, the female players too. Where's like Ross? Edwin? Yeah, I don't know.
If it will help you, then I'm glad to do it.
So these skills, same as La Rochelle, kind of tome effect, gives you tanky stats, but also some aggressiveness, attacking a full health unit, double rally again, which this is kind of cool because this rally is actually the same rally that Bridal Cordelia has. It's the second unit to have it. It's kind of good if you want to run like more aggressive team comps. Swift Sparrow, this is, okay, I guess the red pool is just literally going to be Swift Sparrow pool at this point, because Katarina has it, Ira has it, now Erica's going to have it. And I guess Bravelyn is the other one that has it. Did I forget somebody? Bunny Lucina, I guess, but she doesn't really count. So, like, the red pool, you go in there for Swift Sparrow. This only makes the red pool even better for rolling. I already thought that the red pool is the best for fodder, but this is really good for fodder now. So, red pool only gets better in terms of running for fodder. I hope Mare gets demoted to 4-star. I hope they actually demote something and don't just keep everybody at 5-star, even though these units look like they all might stay at 5-star, but I really hope I'm wrong. I just want, like, more availability for skills. So, I really want, like, Myrrh to get demoted to 4-star, just because Fury 3 could end up being on another color. And green has some real problems with fodder. Green only has like reposition, renewal from Fae. That's how bad it is. I can't even like remember how, like, what kind of things you get from green, because green is like literally really bad. I don't know. I think she's just gonna straight up be better than Leo, but this might not be the case for long. Leo might get an upgrade to Brynhilder. As long as we're like, you know, memeing that, you know, rest in peace Leo, I think Leo's gonna get his legendary upgraded soon enough, and then he's probably gonna still have a place in the meta. Red Tommy XP. Yeah, whatever. Nice animation though. Oh, Alphonse again. Hooray! Alright, let's talk about summoning. Everyone always wants to know, are you gonna pull on this? Are you going to save your orbs? Should I pull on this? What should I do? Yeah, okay. So tonight, which is the morning for me, we are getting the Micaiah banner ending, which is great. I'm glad I didn't really roll on it too much. I don't feel like there's any reason to do it at this point. My reasoning for not pulling on the Micaiah banner is going to stay the same for this banner. The only real nice unit that's really worth summoning in my opinion here, at least on a competitive level, is going to be Myrrh without even looking at stats, okay? I can see the niche of the units, and I can tell you right away that the niche of Myrrh is huge because you're having a flying unit or a dragon unit, and she has valuable skill fodder that could be used on both. La Rochelle, I don't know, man. Like, what are you gonna do with a blue tanky cavalry unit? It just doesn't make sense. Like, mage cavalry have really bad base stat totals, so even if you were to give her like Blar Owl Tome and surround her by buffs, it just sounds dumb when you could make Mr. Oliver do the same role, and he's infantry with BST stat boosted, right? I mean, meme all you want, guys, but honestly, Blar Owl Oliver is going to be better than your waifu La Rochelle here, okay? Other than the fact that La Rochelle can be merged up to 10. But we're not going to talk about whale levels, okay? I'm assuming people aren't whales. Optimal builds, like Myrrh is going to want distant counter. I think you should keep Great Flame, but that's going to make it so she's not really that valuable for a free-to-play player. I just think having her as one copy and then, you know, cementing or like optimizing your team comps is the way to go. Oh, I'm still like my point of view though is still the same. I see no reason to pull on any of these units because of this text here. After this summoning focus ends, these new heroes will continue to be available through future summoning events. What does that mean, guys? It means that we're going to get these units through pity breakers, we're going to get them through legendary banners, we're going to get them through additional summoning focus banners. You know, you're going to have a higher chance to pull them then. You're going to have another chance to get them. So do you need them right away? The answer is probably no. We've lived without them for this long, unless you literally just started playing the game and you've literally just started building Noe Fae and a Tiki on your team, and you're like, okay, I could just use Myrrh on the team now to give Honed Dragons to them. Even without it though, you don't need it. So yeah, it's an easy skip. Really is. Also, I don't think I want to support the idea of Erica and these alternate costumes, to be honest. I feel like they should really just start adding characters that aren't just alternate costumes of everybody. Like, I just want to see more. I want to see more unpopular characters in the game, man. Like, I just don't want to see the top 100 of CYL in here forever, right? But like, give characters that aren't popular a chance, right? Reinhardt is amazing. He got popular. Okay, he wasn't popular in the Choose Your Legends. That's what I want to see more of. I want to see more of these like weird characters. That could just, you know, just become popular. Gonzalez, sure, throw Gonzalez at me. I actually like Gonzalez. He's pretty funny as a character. So I don't know. I'm not rolling on this. It's an easy skip. Don't roll on it on the first day if you really want these characters. Please, we have this banner is definitely going to overlap with Anniversary. It is going to overlap with the Anniversary. If they release some big ideas, some big changes, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it. And I'll be here. I'll be here just telling you, you know, told you so. Do I think that Myrrh is better with Lightning Breath with Fury or Great Flame with this encounter? It's gonna be Great Flame with this encounter. That weapon is so good. Yeah, we know that weapon is amazing. If you roll down to a Lightning Breath, you're losing out on 7 attack, right? So Lightning Breath has 12 attack and Great Flame had 16 plus 3 attack, the 3 attack stat bonus. So the difference is 7 attack, okay? That's huge. 7 attack is huge. And then the ability to deny a follow-up from your enemy from the enemy unit, and you're also not even gimping your cooldown count, it's such a difference, right? You lose out on 2 attack. You must be assuming it's 19 attack, bro. 16 plus 3. Okay, if you assume Fury, then it's 15, okay? For 15 plus 15 versus 19, it's still 4. And Fury also has chip residual damage, which you don't actually want on tanky units. This is why you don't run Fury on like Zelgius or Hinata. And believe it or not, Hinata is not a good user of Fury, okay? He doesn't want speed. He doesn't want to take that 6 damage. He just wants to take 0 times 2 and call it a day. Alright, Myr. Let's talk about Myr first, since she's obviously the most popular one. With good reason, too. Okay, so 167 BST. Right away, I'm going to tell you, I don't really understand why she has 167 BST. I think she's literally 2 BST away from Hector, right? So Myr ends up being literally right here with the armors. Oh, she actually has more BST than armors. Hey, Fjorm Megalol actually has 164 BST. Can she go in this bin? No, right? She doesn't have any super boons. Okay, so she has 1 less BST than Hector, 1 less BST than Effie, 1 less BST than Zephiel, and she's a 2-move unit that also flies. They can benefit from 2 schools of buffs, which are dragons and flyers. Right away, just on that, I'm going to tell you that's actually really ridiculous. Of course, unless you have bow users or falchions on the enemy team. And falchions are pretty much extinct at this point. I haven't seen like a falchion user. Okay, I saw a Crom like yesterday, but he was a joke. You don't see falchion users that often anymore just because they're just, I don't know, they're just not as good as they used to be. Their stat spreads aren't as great. They're weak to magic. All of them are pretty much weak to magic. And yeah, like they don't really, like you don't even want to use Falchion. Falchion can't even be upgraded. So if you're using a Falchion user, you're actually going to see them with like Slaying Edge, with Speed Refinement or something. You never really see them with Falchion. So hopefully a Falchion upgrade does actually appear, because if it does, I am going to actually go for my Crom boy. Where's Crom? I don't think he has a single HM, yeah. So I have 8 copies of Crom. I'm definitely going to build up a Crom if Falchion gets upgraded. And I'm going to use Falchion, of course, so it can counter disgusting meta units like this. So we'll see if that happens. I basically already have to like start using blue mages and blue lance units with insane defense just to deal with Zelgius. Because this week's Arena Assault was like terrifyingly difficult because of Zelgius popping up on the last banner. So let's see how oppressive Myr is. I don't think she's going to be that oppressive, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know next week whether that's a problem or not. As for the actual stat spread itself, her HP is pretty decent. It's not that high though, which is actually a good thing for her, because then she's able to allocate those extra stat points into an average attack stat, very good defensive stat, and a decent resistance stat. So her speed being 25, this is one of those cases where it's actually below average, but works to her advantage. Because I see people like, I've seen this a lot already on the first day. Why are people trying to bump up the stat spread to like a high speed, right? Like, why are you doing that, okay? So if you're gonna try to bump up her, look, okay, game press got one thing, right? Make sure you go minus speed, I agree with that. You basically shouldn't be trying to bump up her speed, even if she's getting a super boon. For you to truly get enough speed out of this, you're gonna have to sacrifice a speed 3 seal slot, Fury 3 probably for the extra speed and extra stats, 32 speed, 35 speed from speed seal, and then if you wanted even a little bit more speed, you're probably gonna go with like a refinement, right? Like a speed refinement here. So you end up with like 38 speed. That's not that good, guys. It's not that good, because I'll tell you why. Okay, so if you don't know what Grey Flame is, basically it's gonna have a 7 attack difference from Lightning Breath, and it won't slower your cooldown charge. So that's pretty important to realize, guys. You're losing out on 7 attack by switching the weapon and adding speed, which is dumb. But also, if you choose to just keep this weapon, in most cases, you're not going to get doubled, because Myr's defense is insane, especially if you give her like 1 buff. Like, there are not many units in this game that can match her defense, even by the difference of 5. Like, if she reaches with 1 fortified dragons buff, she's going to have like 41 defense? What is it, 42 defense. I don't know, give her like drive defense on the team and boom, you're at like 45 defense, and literally nobody reaches 40 defense easily. Like, you're not gonna run. Look at this, Ephraim, I guess Lucas. Oh no, Lucas is not gonna double you, come on. He's not gonna double you anyways. Any of the units, the only exception to this is probably Zelgius, but why are you using Myr to fight Zelgius, okay? I guess maybe Xander as well, but again, Xander can't double you. And yeah, like, okay, so anyone who has high defense usually isn't gonna double Myr anyways, unless they reach like Hone Cavalry buffs. Like, my plus speed Eldigan's gonna double her. assuming he gets fortified cavalry. But like those sort of scenarios don't really happen. Hinata, lol. My point is, she's going to have more defense than most units. So Great Flame's effect should still activate most of the time. So if you're changing her weapon for speed refinement on Lightning Breath, I think you should use the door and get out, because I think it's a terrible idea. You're also lowering the cooldown charge on what is potentially a very damaging special. I'd even mention the fact if you get a plus defense, like 39 defense is just ridiculous. Ridiculously dumb. Also, there's a little bit of a big difference between Myr and the other dragons by using Lightning Breath. You actually can't use the Steady Breath build. You can't give her Wrath. Who cares about Wrath? You can't give her Steady Breath because she's flying, unfortunately, and you can't give her Wrath. But who cares about Wrath? So you are going to use Quick Riposte though. Quick Riposte is super good on slow units, and if they get doubled, this is good because, like, this is the biggest problem with Lightning Breath. Okay. Lightning Breath and Ground Blade too, but Ground Blade less important. Lightning Breath increases your cooldown charge by 1, so Iceberg goes from a 3 charge special to a 4 charge special. And that means if you get doubled, and you're doubling back with Quick Riposte, you actually don't activate the special. And this is a big deal, because sometimes you need that special to secure kills. So if you weren't increasing your cooldown charge by just keeping Great Flame, having 7 extra attack, you'll Quick Riposte, and probably kill them, guaranteed kill them with special. I know in some cases you probably don't need your special, and if that were the case, then you can just upgrade the special from like Bonfire to Ignis, okay? And then you're gonna have a player phase Ignis to literally nuke somebody. So if you're telling me, oh, but Teach, you know, like she's gonna kill people anyways without a special, you know what? You know what's even better? The fact that you didn't increase your special with Lightning Breath, and now you can run Ignis. You killed them with a Quick Riposte without the special. Now you have a player phase Ignis to basically do like 30 damage. Yes. Yes, that is true. Wind Demon says you won't proc special because she won't get doubled. Indeed. Yes, good point. So that means you'd either run Bonfire to have a player phase special, or you could run Quick Impulse with Bonfire to secure the special, or you could run Quick Impulse with Ignis to secure the special for player phase. Yeah, her weapon prevents it. You could also use Heavy Blade. You don't have to use Quick Impulse. Heavy Blade is also a good option here. She should have enough attack to outperform others in the attack stat, especially if you can provide her with Honed Dragons or Dark Aura or something. Maddie King says, what happens when Myr engages on an enemy with QR? You don't engage with the enemy phase unit? That'd probably be a good idea. Unless you have Ignis charged. Or Bonfire charged. Yeah. So, minus speed, definitely not what I'm going to recommend. I mean, what I'm going to recommend for sure. And Game Press has got this right. Attack or defense is definitely what you should be rolling for. Defense has good. It's pretty valuable for... it's pretty valuable because of Great Flame's effect, and plus attack, obviously. If you wanna just run what I told you, which is with the Heavy Blade, in the seal slot, then this is going to help a lot as well. Or Quick Impulse as well if you just want something more consistent. Cubit says, how do you like this Myr build? Great Flame, Moonbow, Distant Counter. Quick Riposte, Guidance, IO Shield. I like that build. It's probably one of the best builds you can run. In the B slot, you either run Quick Riposte. Well, I'm gonna see what they say. Quick Riposte 3 or Quick Riposte 2. Quick Riposte 3 or Quick Riposte 2. Yeah, you basically... I mean, I agree. If you're gonna run Heavy Blade Seal, then you need to run Quick Riposte in the B slot. You don't really have a choice there. And of course, IO Shield is the other choice. Like, these are pretty good. These are spot on its analysis. Distant Counter in the A slot I think is also really good. Just because this would be like the first dragon that you don't run Lightning Breath on, so the only way to do this would be to run Distant Counter. How is this budget? What? Why would you Lightning Breath plus with Distant Counter? How is Attack Defense Bond budget? What? This just needs to say alternate build, not budget. Let me just kill a 5-star Noe for my budget Lightning Breath plus. 20k Feathers budget, guys. Amazing. Let me kill my Fjorm for budget attack defense bond 3. But ultimate synergy, lightning breath plus with distant counter. I do agree with these builds though. For the most part, they're pretty accurate. I don't know about Glimmer though. There's a lot of options you can do with these with Myrrh, and I don't think you can really mess it up as long as you don't do something like lightning breath plus and distant counter. Just make sure she runs quick riposte in the B. Please don't try to like speed refine or go for like a speedy Myrrh build. It just sounds bad. Anyways, that's my Myrrh impression. Let's go on to La Rochelle. Steady stance is budget, boys. Come on, didn't you know you can get it for $4? La Rochelle, aka Omega Law. Let's talk a little about La Rochelle here. So her stat spread isn't really that impressive, and the reason for that, so they're not BST boosted. This is kind of interesting. If you guys didn't know already, the cavalry units are not BST boosted. We have 144 and 145, which are standard horse cavalry BST. I feel like they do this because maybe they're trying to nerf horse emblems. So the last thing they want to do is make sure that they release strong cavalry units, especially after like Bolin. So basically they're down here with Reinhardt and Ursula and Olin. But when we're looking at these builds, we can look at the stat spread of like comparing to Olin and Ursula and La Rochelle Reinhardt. We already tell right away that although La Rochelle has a pretty decent offensive stat spread, when you're building a blade mage unit, what you really want to look for is actually the speed and not the attack. So in my opinion, Olin actually is going to perform better than La Rochelle will with the blade tome. So this didn't even outclass Olin. Yeah, like you don't need the extra attack, trust me on this. You don't need the extra attack when it comes to blade mages. You need as much speed as possible to make sure you double. So if you were hoping to use La Rochelle with a blade mage tome, then well, you probably shouldn't, just because Olin does it a little bit better. Yeah, that 3 speed does make a difference, and unfortunately she doesn't really compete in that area. When it comes to competing with Reinhardt though, we already know that magic is everything and that he knows his way with the magic. So yeah, I mean, forget that. Life Alert 666 asked, then why isn't Bride Cheetah best Blarblade? She actually is. That's actually not a troll, Life Alert. Bride Cheetah actually is best Blarblade. The only reason that people don't use Bride Cheetah so often as a Blarblade user is because she has really poor availability. She literally came on the bridal banner, which nobody was targeting her in the first place. Because of Bridal Cordelia basically taking the spotlight. And then on the Legendary banner, she was sharing blue with Fjorm Omega Lol and Spring Xander Omega Lol. So both times that you've seen Bride Cheetah were pretty questionable decisions to roll for her. I mean, like, the other blue mages come pretty close. So the thing with this is, when you're looking at blade mages, like, Tail 2 is 35, which is pretty close, and then I think Lind has 36, which is also really close. This is 1 speed difference. So you're more likely to get more copies of Lind than you will of Bride Cheetah. But when it comes down to it, this 1 speed is not actually that much of a difference. So anything, like, I had this exact same problem with Soren. This 1 speed difference is not going to be that much of a difference when you compare Lind and Bridal Cheetah. This is probably like 1 or 2 matchups, honestly. In the whole grand scheme of the game, where you needed that 1 extra speed, it probably didn't matter. So that's why Lind is basically considered the better blade mage, because 1 speed usually doesn't matter. However, if they keep releasing super speedy units and Bride Cheetah ends up doubling more things than Lind does because of 1 speed, it's gonna be a really specific scenario. But basically, if that were to happen, then Bride Cheetah would definitely be the better blade mage. Don't look at these ratings. Yeah. Anyways, speed is what matters when you're building blade mages. It straight up is. Okay, back to La Rochelle. How do you make La Rochelle work? Well, that's a good question. So, Her tome, I think, gives her 3 defense, which is super weird. Ivaldi grants defense was 3. If foe's HP is 100% at start of combat, guidance, attack, and speed 3. Alright, well, it's basically like Lloyd's tome in terms of actual buffs given to you on the attacks and the speed. But the defense 3 seems so, like, pointless. I just don't know what you're gonna do with that. I mean, bringing her defense up to 20, I mean, what do you want to do with this, right? Are we just gonna go with, like, Fortress May on a horse? Here you go, guys. Here's how we build La Rochelle. Keep her default tome, give her Fortress Defense 3. She already has renewal, you're already good to go. Yeah, I don't know, man. The difference is her default tome doesn't actually give you extra, like, stats when people are around you, and it also can't be refined. So, the problem is my May is gonna actually outperform La Rochelle.
That Bowie. He's so clueless.
I guess if you had a plus defense La Rochelle, you'd have 23 defense. And you could probably hone Fortify Cavalry her, bring her to 29 defense. That wouldn't be too bad. Give her close counter, I guess. I don't know, man. This is a unit that I don't actually think is that good. She unfortunately, this is like the opposite of the Lucius problem, guys. This is the opposite of Lucius problem. So when Lucius came out, we wanted Lucius to be a mage. And now when La Rochelle comes out, we wanted her to be a staff user because she's not competing really well with these 3. If somebody sends me a unit review with a like a decent creative build with La Rochelle, I'm gonna definitely give you some easy claps. But for right now, I just don't see what role she can do, because Owen should be the superior blade mage with that 3 extra speed. Reinhardt is just the more offensive, like, player phase unit. And I guess no, even Reinhardt is the better defensive blue horse mage. I mean, look at his bulk, guys. 38 HP, 27 defense, 25 res. Like, it's just like Reinhardt's like laughing at you because Reinhardt has 10 more defense than you. This guy can do everything you can do better. Magic is everything, and unfortunately, you should have came here with a staff. So let's find the recycle bin and throw her in the recycling bin. Apparently, I can add her to the game. Is this how I hack the game? I can just drag La Rochelle into the game? See, just plus, huh? Yeah, okay, I don't actually care about La Rochelle though. Sorry guys, I just don't think she has any sort of niche right now. There's a blue tome niche for like, there's a blue tome for everything, every niche besides super tanky one. I mean, Reinhardt would do it, it's just he's super good because of Dire Thunder. Reported for hacking. I think La Rochelle might actually get demoted to 4-star. There's nothing impressive about her. Because after this banner ends, I'm gonna start reading chat, and on the next time we have like a blue banner, when people say my pity rate got broken by La Rochelle, it's actually gonna be one of those situations that it feels bad, man, because what do you do with her? Yeah. Res Tactic would be pretty nice, actually. Maybe I should get that on my free-to-play account. If if I don't have any greens on my free summon on my free-to-play account, then I guess I should target La Rochelle for the Res Tactic. That'd be pretty good. La Rochelle confirmed first 3-star unit to be demoted. Poggers. Freaking poggers. Alright, let's talk about the not deserving Erica alternate costume that was stolen away from Noel that should have been using this Gleipnir tone. Lol. Okay. Anyways, fortunately for Erica on a horse, she actually has a niche, unlike La Rochelle, that could be used. So yeah, the only two red mounted cavalry are Leo and Erica. So, okay, she's definitely far more offensive than Leo, but don't feel like your Leo doesn't have a role, because I still think that Leo is usable. Okay, I'm going for a strong argument here. Everyone that I've heard so far has said, Omega lol, Leo's dead. No, he's not, okay? I'll tell you why. So treat Erica on a horse like a player phase horse unit, and then you'll understand why Leo would work. So Erica has super great offensive stats and would be definitely a better blade mage, roar blade mage, which is great. And she would also be, she'd also just make her, I think her default tome is actually pretty good. It gives resistance, I think. Resistance, sure, whatever. That's more likely to be useful than defense, because if someone counters attacks you, they're usually a mage or they're usually a bow user, but you don't really want to attack into bow users who counter attack you, because you'll probably take too much damage. So res comes more useful, or at least if you're gonna bait out mages, then at least she'll get a little bit of res out of it. So she's a super great offensive unit because her tome gives attack speed 3. You could keep it, and desperation, so sparrow, sure, whatever. But more importantly, attack speed 4 when you initiate, and attack speed 3 at the first initiation. So you get 7 attack and 7 speed on initiation with the new Erica. So you don't really need to use a blade tome, because this can make her more independent and not relying on buffs. So that's kind of cool. You know, going up to like 38 attack, 42 speed without any buffs already, and then just having like 25 base res, like that's already super good stat totals. So yeah, she's definitely better than Leo in terms of player phase. Now the problem though is that Leo is still has a pretty good niche that Erica doesn't have, and that's going to be the fact that when Brynholder actually can get refined, he's going to have more bulk because of the extra HP that gives, first of all. Let me just check. I think it gives you extra HP, right? Yeah, so 3 HP. So that means that Leo is likely going to have a little bit more bulk, and not by a little bit, it should be actually significantly more bulk than Erica. And because of his low speed, I've always argued this, people always look at speed, and if it's low, they're like, oh, trash unit. But don't forget, low speed can work in your favor to build up special charge, just like Omega Lol Gordon. You basically build up that special charge, you know, enemy hits you, you hit them back, enemy hits you again, your special charge, boom, you blow them up for a lot of damage on enemy phase. So Leo still has that niche in being a tanky red mage cavalry. If you give him like fortified cavalry, maybe you start using ward cavalry, hone cavalry, it doesn't matter. You just basically can blow up enemy units on the enemy phase. And as a result, you could use like Roar Raven, you could use Roar Blade, if you want to give him more offensive prowess just on the enemy phase. The point is he can tank the hits that Erica may not, and therefore his niche is still there as an enemy phase red cavalry mage. Okay, so don't sleep on Leo because I think he still can work. 2 for range. Okay, so he'll end up with 41 HP, which is still a lot more than Erica is gonna have. Like, you could literally give him like close defense, distant defense, quick impulse, and he could blow stuff up with Iceberg or Glacies on turn 1 baits, which is super powerful. So this is something that Erica can't do on enemy phase. She could actually die. Alright, and we have Leon over here. Leon, whatever. Let me just check chat real fast. Fashiro says, is it okay to sleep near Leo? Sure, Kappa Pride if that's what floats your boat. Lol, lol, lol. Phoenix Show says, wait, Acris, how viable is Summer Leo? Summer Leo has some viability, I think, because he has great resistance, but I think Katarina might be better. I'll review Summer Leo when he makes an appearance on the Legendary Banner again, when he appears again. We'll see. I think he is decent. Oh yeah, so Cupa Shy actually earlier said, why, La Rochelle's a mediocre unit, like, why isn't every unit a power creep unit? I'm actually glad they released a character that's mediocre and not, like, super broken, overpowered power creep. I'm actually happy for this. We need more of this. Just regular units. And then people can use them because of waifu reasons, or they're going to make some creative builds out of them. So I'm okay with the fact that they release units that aren't so great. Even some people consider Erica, like, not that great, but I think she's pretty strong. So if you have either, you can probably make them work. They're cavalry units, guys. Cavalry units are ridiculous. They can work for everything. Just make them. You have so much, like, you have 3 movement. You can make so many mistakes. You can be like a total scrub, and you'll still be fine. Alright, let's talk about Lion. So, biggest point of reference with Lion, just looking at his stats initially. Okay, so he's got boosted BST, that's pretty cool. But I think a lot of his BST might actually be wasted. So if I'm right, let's compare him to other red mages. Do you have his lowest speed stat? Lowest speed, yeah. So we have Leon doesn't even show up here. We have Sophia, I guess, because he's actually slower than Henry. Yeah, he's actually slower than Henry. He doesn't have that abysmal attack stat though. No. So it looks like he's mostly comparable to Sophia, but he has 1 more HP, 1 more attack, 28 defense, so he has less defense and a little bit more res. But he comes built in with the Raven Tome, I believe, right? His tome is, yeah, grants weapon triangle advantage against color foam. So he just gets like a prettier version of Raw Raven, just with more attack. So like a Raw Raven Tome with 3 more attack. That's okay. It's not too bad. Now, his stats are really similar to Sophia, but if you actually had a plus attack Sophia, she could end up with 36 attack, and Leon would actually have less attack than her, and she would have pretty decent bulk that's comparable. Also, Sophia can actually get merged up to plus 10. Leon can't. So that's kind of sad. That means that this guy, I don't even think he's comparable to Giraffe. I mean, I see you building him the same exact way as Sophia then, right? Give him TA and Bowbreaker or a quick riposte and call it a day. But there's not really much you can do with him. Roar Owl with close counter. I mean, yeah, that kind of works too, I guess. Feels bad, guys. I don't agree with Fury though. That seems dumb. He doesn't need speed. Why is this here? Lion build submitted by Silver Aura 25. No. It's probably because of attack play, I'm guessing. But why not just use Arvis? Okay. Yeah, guys, I'm not impressed by Lion at all. Sorry, guys. I just think that he's like a Sophia, but not that great. Phoenix Jewel says, Akers, can I briefly compare Lilina, Sanaki, and Sophia? Sophia, Lilina, and Sanaki are all a little bit different because basically out of the three, Sanaki is definitely like actually Sanaki and Lilina are basically similar. There's not much of a difference between both. Technically Lilina has 2 more HP, 3 less res, while Sanaki has 2 less HP and 3 more res, and the defense doesn't really matter. I guess Lilina has a slight advantage with the Roar Raven build than Sanaki was, just because of the 2 extra defense, while Sophia is definitely the king of Roar Raven Bowbreaker builds, because of that high defense. But they do have way more attack, and that attack does scale better with Triangle Adept. So Lilina has the most availability other than Sophia if you want to build like a really strong TA mage with Raven, but compared to Sophia, of course. But Sophia has more bulk than Lilina and Sanaki, so in terms of like tanky mages, Sophia works out really well. But offensively, you could use Lilina here, which should be pretty good. Sanaki, I don't actually think you should use her with a Raven build, although it's possible, because since the recent possible upgrade on Cymbeline, I feel like she has a more refined role now in team comps. Sanaki's probably better off just upgrading Cymbeline like this. And yeah, you can basically give her drive attack to allies and give her like this really powerful attack res bond if she's near flying allies. So I kind of like this a lot, and I feel like if you're not using this tome, you're really just losing out on the potential of Snacky herself. Lilina should be running these other kind of tomes, and Sophia is definitely better off running the Raven tomes with like Quick Riposte or a Breaker of your choice. Yeah, basically tankiness, offensiveness, and unique role with Cymbeline. Ricardo says Fury Lion beats cancel affinity roll in by the way. Oh, why is that? Why is that? Why doesn't Sophia do that? Wouldn't Sophia also do that? I don't see why a plus attack Sophia couldn't do the exact same thing. Just use your budget bond skills, guys. Come on. Okay, guys. Anyways, I'm not really that impressed with Lion. Let's see what happens. What's up, Sizo V? Welcome back, man. How's it going? Yeah. Okay, so not impressed with Lion. I hoped he was going to be more interesting than that, but maybe they're just making the Grand Hero battles not that interesting anymore in their skill sets. It's a shame. After Arvis, there was a lot of potential to be had with unique units, but this is basically like a glorified Sophia. Anyways, let's look at my favorite Sacred Stones unit out of all of them. Thankfully, she's on the Tempest Trials reward and not actually a banner unit. I'm so happy about that. Why are you... I don't get it. Okay, why are you sending me this, Ricardo? How do I know what the actual setup for that Sophia is? Why wouldn't that Sophia be like plus defense? Maybe even plus HP or something? Like, you just sent me a link of Sophia dying. That doesn't really... She can be merged way more than a Lion. In fact, I'm pretty sure my 4-star merged Sophia is already going to beat out a 5-star Lion. just in merges alone. See? Merge plus 5. I haven't even had to upgrade 20,000 feathers to make her competitive. And she's already going to be better than whatever you just linked me. So that doesn't really explain anything. I already have a much more accessible unit that I haven't even put any effort into, and she's already going to beat out the Grand Hero battle coming tomorrow if I put in just a little bit of effort into her. That's it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Don't even have to... I would have to spend like 20,000 feathers maybe to just bring her... No, I wouldn't even... I would just... 20,000 feathers for Roar Raven. That's pretty much all I have to do. Ricardo says you don't have to believe me. Well, I believe you, but you didn't really give any information on why Lion beats Bolin that Sophia can't because of merge abilities. So to me, it's like everyone has a 4-star merge Sophia by now. That should be more powerful than the Leon we're getting tomorrow. That's my point. Availability and strength are definitely some very strong considerations here. And if you don't have a merge Sophia, then Lion should be a little bit better, but only marginally. Okay, so Marissa, I'm super excited about this, and I'm glad she has this type of stat spread. I have something really creative in mind when I get her, but I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. This stat spread's really cool. A lot of people are going to look at this and be like, wah, baby rage, why can't I make another Ira or Mia? Why isn't an Ira clone? Why isn't a Mia clone? Baby rage, baby rage, baby rage. Well, when I get her in the Tempest Trials, you guys are going to see some pretty cool ideas, and I'm not foddering her, no way. You'll see what kind of craziness this sort of character can run. Can run Fire Boost. Yeah, you could run Fire Boost, but I mean, I don't really want to kill my Luke, so I don't think I'm going to do that. But yeah, you're going to see some creative stuff here. My brain is working. In terms of viability, I think she's definitely got a place. There is no other like Wodao user that kind of has a stat spread. Well, except one person. I think she literally just power creeped him out of existence, right? Let's see. Did she actually power creep him out of existence? Carol's 47 HP, 46. 30 attack Carol, 30 attack Marissa. 35 speed, 36 speed. 25 defense, 30 defense. 20 res, 21 res. Basically beat him except for 1 HP. Carol is more... Technically, you could have a higher merge potential on him, but... I mean, he's 5-star exclusive. So when we're talking about availability here, unless you're a whale or been rolling on every single Carol banner, you probably don't have more than 1 or 2 Carols. So therefore Marissa is pretty good. In fact, just literally better than Carol unless you had a pretty good IV on him. My Carol's actually pretty good IVs. Mine was a plus speed Carol. 49 HP. Pretty decent actually. That HP stat though, jeez. Carol was a god a couple coaching sessions ago. Hey man, Carol did work, okay? Rolling for killer. Oh, mega lol. Carol has more HP by 1. Yep, sword demon, boys. Sword demon.
I was raised to live and die by the sword. Now among my family members, I live. My sister does too.
Yeah, can your sister come into the game so she can totally power creep you, Carol? I'd love to see the result of that. That should be interesting. Omega lol, guys. Absolutely Omega lol. Who's the sister? Carla. But the foddering Carol for desperation? What do you mean you foddered Carol? What's wrong with you guys? Oh boy. Okay. Alright, anyways, this is my analysis on these units that just came out. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I personally am most looking forward to using Marissa, because I have some cool things in mind. But anyways, if you're going to summon on this banner, make sure you go in with a plan. Try to wait out a few days before you do so. It's already too late for me to say this, because I swear like half of you have already summoned. But those of you that haven't, if you want to go in here with a plan, make sure you go in with a plan. And your best choices are going to be like either Myrrh or Erica. I don't know what you're going to do with La Rochelle other than waifu reasons, to be totally honest. Wait out until we know what's coming on the Legendary Banner, possibly the anniversary, because it overlaps. Banner's going to be available for a while, right? So don't rush. 14 days, yeah, this is a long time. You have plenty of time to make that decision. I personally won't be summoning on it. I will get these units at some point in the future, so why do I care about it now? I've summoned already. Sensei, I don't listen to you. I just summoned already. Can you go on your free-to-play account and do your free summon? Gambling, gambling, gambling. Free summon, free summon, free summon. Yeah, okay, geez, fine. Go over there and free summon.